All right, here's a quick rundown of the Live Local Act highlights. Some of the stuff I thought was notable is offer sales tax refunds of up to $5,000 for building materials and appliances used in an affordable housing unit. Includes an exemption on taxes assessed on land owned by a nonprofit that is leased for a minimum of 99 years, and that will be used for affordable housing. Forbids any local rent control regulations. Anyway, I'm going to get into it right here, but I wanted to give you something that you can look at and refer to. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Live Local Act. Hey everybody, it's John Brewer, South Florida's restaurant guy, and this is a video for those that are in commercial real estate, especially in the state of Florida. It's about the Live Local Act. So if you're looking for a restaurant review or one of those restaurant educationals, just go ahead and click the button and get out of here. Anyway, Live Local Act just came into effect on July 1st. It's a very interesting development, pun intended, because it concerns developers. It grants property tax exemptions for affordable units for buildings constructed or substantially rehabilitated in the past 5 years if more than 70 of those apartments are reserved for affordable housing. If those units are for households that earn between 80% and 120% of an annual area's median income. Median is the middle, not the average, but the middle. Then the tax exemption is 75%. So that's a 75% tax savings. If the units are for households at or below 80% AMI, annual median income, then the units are exempt from ad valorem property taxes. Pretty big incentive for a lot of developers to develop affordable housing. The next thing allows municipalities and counties to provide tax exemptions for buildings with more than 50 units that provide affordable housing for households that earn at or below 60% AMI. So depending on who you are as a developer, you're going to want to look into what the annual median income is for your particular area. Number 3, includes an exemption on taxes assessed on land owned by a nonprofit that is leased for a minimum of 99 years that will be used for affordable housing. It also offers sales tax refunds of up to $5,000 for building materials and appliances used in an affordable housing unit. Also requires municipalities and counties to publish a list of city-owned properties suitable for use as affordable housing. So any municipality and county has to publish a list of city-owned properties that may be used for affordable housing. The next one requires local governments to maintain on their websites a policy listing procedures and expectations for expedited processing of building permits. That's one of the other pluses about this. It's not only a tax savings, but it's expediting what can be very costly for a lot of developers, which is that permitting process. And having been a member of the Site Plan Review and Appearance Board, I can vouch for all of that. Also forbids any local rent control regulations. So that means basically this will bypass any local rent control regulations. So as long as you are adhering by the AMI and the percentages of affordable housing, you will be able to bypass the local rent control. And the last one is provides interest-free loans to buy a home of up to $35,000 to members of the state's workforce who earn up to 150% AMI under the Florida Hometown Hero Program. So interest-free loans for hometown heroes. I don't think there is a home in Florida that's $35,000, but I guess you could apply that to basically $35,000 contributing to a home. So that was interesting. I also have some notes here that I took to go along with it. So what they're saying is, with all of these rules that are being laid down, some of it It's also making a lot of commercially zoned areas. So industrial properties are now eligible for development for affordable housing. Retail properties are now ripe for development. So industrial zone and close to job growth are ripe for developers. So in an area that has job growth, that has retail, or that has industrial, I imagine retail as well, these are going to be particular areas and particular properties that developers are really going to be looking to strike on. There is a downside. What is the downside? Well, from what this article was saying, is there's a downside in litigation. So obviously there's nuances and they're open to interpretations. They're subject to legal challenges from municipalities. City staffers are delaying their feedback about this new law. They're still trying to assess what can and cannot be done. It does not articulate how cities should deal with concurrency issues like water, traffic, nothing in the law that requires verifying water and sewer capacity. I know we had an issue with, prior to this, with a developer going up, and the area where they are is close to a high school. People were very concerned about the parking issues there, but there's going to also be, obviously when you build a multifamily, especially a larger multifamily, you are going to be putting more stress on the water lines, the sewer lines, all those things as well. So there's also going to be incentives to local governments as well as developers. What we're trying to do here is get local governments as an equal partner in this. So as an example, they gave, if Miami will allow up to 1,000 units per acre in nearly half of Miami, a state center to settle will be up to city planners to determine infrastructure concurrency needs before issuing a permit. So the only way that they could tie up a property, or the only way they could slow down a development, is if they are claiming that there are concurrency issues. Concurrency issues, like I said, are overtaxing of the sewer, the water system, things of that nature. Municipalities retain most of their sovereignty. Developers must comply with cities' historic preservation regulations, the setbacks, the parking regulations, and floor area ratios. So those regulations, those parameters are still going to stay in effect. And the bottom line is we're not really going to know about this Live Local Act until we start to see challenges and we start to see pushback. And then we'll start to see litigation. And from there, we will get a clearer picture. But the idea is pretty simple. It wants to inspire developers to get involved in properties that might not be within the scope or the area of where they would be looking. Like I said, industrial that's close to job growth is going to be especially ripe for development. The idea is to bring more affordable housing here to Palm Beach County, which needs it desperately. We've become a city here, especially in Delray Beach, that has an affluent demographic, but no one to service that demographic. So your servers, your bartenders, your chefs, your cooks, etc. Also your first responders, hometown heroes is also another piece of legislation that was put into effect to hopefully get first responders and people that police and our firefighters in an area to actually be able to afford living there. Anyway, my name's John Brewer. I'm a commercial real estate agent. I'm a CCIM. Call me with all your, or let me know about any of your commercial real estate questions. Be happy to answer them for you. And that's it. Have a great day, everybody.